Good morning. Whenever it is that you take this class, this is your breathe, expand, move, all that stuff class. So for this practice, if you want to grab a couple of blocks, go for it. I would recommend getting at least one so that we can start off in a supported child's pose, supported hero's pose. I'm going to go ahead and start up my playlist, which if you are going to follow along, it is called Morning Cafecito Yoga. So there are two different ones. There's Morning Cafecito. That one's a little bit rowdy. It's like what I play in the morning whenever I'm having my coffee and just kind of chilling and kicking it. So you're going to want to do the other one. Morning Cafecito Yoga. Spotify. Morning Cafecito Yoga. Got it. And then we'll meet in a supported heroes. Start your music if you're going to go there. For your supported heroes, you're going to take a block and bring your knees together, separate your toes, and then you slide your block in between your heels. Now, it might take more than one block, so that's all good. Depends on how your feet feel, the ankles, and also paying attention to the flexion in your knees. So I think I'm going to take two today. I think that's going to feel better. Feels amazing. See, there you go. My knees are a little bit worse for the wear this week, so I'm going to be pretty careful with them today. I've been really active, so yeah, there you go. So whenever you're ready to root your tail, root your sits bones down, stack your shoulders on top of your hips, and then roll your shoulders back and down, open up through your chest, and then you can let your hands just rest down in your lap, or you can take one palm to your low belly, one palm to your heart. Whatever resonates with you this morning. Find something that gives you a sense of peace and calming. If you feel comfortable closing down your eyes, I invite you to do so. And wherever you are in your breath cycle, go ahead and empty out completely. Let it all go. Then inhale through the nose. Allow for your belly to expand. Your heart will rise. Shoulders back and down. And then open mouth, exhale, sigh it out. Inhale through your nose. Open mouth, sigh it out. Two more just like that. Deep inhale through your nose. Let everything kind of lift, expand, get to full capacity of your lungs. And then exhale through your mouth to let it go. Last one. Deep breath in. Open mouth, exhale. Now seal your lips. Draw your breath through your nostrils, both on its way in and on its way out. And allow for the breath to begin to kind of drag out, get a little bit longer. And then match your breath so that the inhale and the exhale are the same, both in intensity and duration. So it's the same breath coming in, same breath going out. And then flicker open your eyes. On your inhale, circle your arms out and up. Get nice and long. Interlace your fingers, flip your palms towards the sky as you exhale. So inhale, reach a little bit higher with the webbing of your fingers, and then exhale, hinge over to the right and get a left side body stretch. Feel your floating rib lift up and away from the top of your left hip. And then inhale, come right back through center. And exhale, hinge over to the left, stretch through your right side body. Inhale, right back up. Exhale, take your elbows back and down, open up through your chest. Inhale here. And then exhale, reach your hands back and down, interlace your fingers, and just slide your fist down your sacrum and open up through your chest. It's okay if it's not touching or making contact, it's all good. And then maybe you just take one ear down and then the other. If you have anything like bulging discs in your neck or anything funky going on with the cervical spine, you would skip this part. You can just look side to side. All right, let the crown of your head come back up. Release your hands. Come forward onto hands and knees. Now, if you have blocks, you're going to take the blocks out from underneath you. Slide them over to the side. And let's all meet in all fours. So your box pose. Stack your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists. Bring your knees underneath your hips and spread your fingers out wide. Now on your inhale, drape a soft belly down towards the ground. Lift your chin, lift your tail. Press your heart forward. And then exhale to reverse it. Dome out your upper back. Oh, I feel tight today. Let your head hang. Tuck your tail. And then inhale to roll back through. Find a cow pose. The heart presses forward and there's a sway to your low back, like a hammock. And then you exhale to reverse it, but really press out that spot on the back side of your heart to the sky. And then inhale, roll back through, belly down, lift your tail, press your heart between your upper arm bones, and lift your chin. Feel your sternum stretch. And then exhale, reverse it. Tuck your tail, dome out your upper back, tuck your chin. And then if at this point you're ready to move out of this vertical plane of cat and cow, you just start to sway around and get into hip circles so that you feel all of your joints start to move. You can take up as much of your mat as you want. You can move slowly. Think of something kind of luxurious, right? And then shift direction. And if something particular feels nice, you can stop and stay for a minute. And then come right back into all fours. Press your hands down. Take an inhale, curl up your toes. Now remember, we've talked a lot about this spot between your navel and your pubic bone. So that soft skin right here, you're trying to pull that back away from your waistband, even though it's not going to actually happen, right? But we move from this creative center. So this is where all the good stuff happens, right? It's also where we hold a lot of our emotions. So sometimes you have to kind of wade through whatever all of that is, right? Find that creative center, come back to that, your center, and move from that space, right? It's a space that's not wrong. So draw in here, squeeze at the base of your pubic bone, press your palms down, curl up your toes, and then as you push up and back into downward facing dog, you're moving from here. So I like to think of it as like almost a body wave. So inhale deeply. And then exhale, the first thing that happens, my knees start to float ever so slightly. And then I lift and let my head hang down. Now take your tailbone to the sky to the best of your ability. Even if that means you bend into your knees a lot. Your feet could be roughly hip width distance apart. Hands more or less shoulder width distance apart. But your ribs continue to press back and towards your thighs, and then you let your head hang down. So if you were to gaze side to side, you'd be looking underneath your triceps. Breathe. Take one more inhale. And then on the exhale, soft bend to your knees. Gaze is forward and step your feet up to your hands. Nice and slow. Take your feet about hip width distance apart. On your inhale, lengthen your spine. And then exhale, fold yourself down. We're going to hang here for a moment. Let the crown of your head completely go. You can thread your arms, take opposite elbows, whatever feels best to you. Move into that ragdoll place. So you're really letting go of your low back, letting go of your hamstrings. So there's no tension in the body. I'm just letting it all hang. And then one more full breath. Exhale completely. And then inhale to roll up nice and slow. Once you get to the top, roll your shoulders back and down. And then inhale. Reach your arms out and up. Take a full extension of your body. Fingertips reach to the sky. Your feet root down as much as possible. And then exhale, right arm down, left arm reaches up and over. Get a stretch through your left side body. And then inhale, both arms up. Exhale, your left arm down, your right arm up and over. And then inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, just fold yourself down. Let your chest come to your thighs. Dump your head down. Let everything go. And then inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold yourself down again. Taking that 2 more times. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Exhale, drop your right hand down. Reach your left all the way over. Inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, left hand down, right arm reaches. Inhale, take your arms up. Exhale, hinge at your hips and forward fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold it back down. Inhale, come all the way up. And exhale, right arm down, left arm up and over. Inhale to your extended mountain, Urdhva Hastasana. If it's there, seal the palms. Exhale, left arm down, right arm to the left. And inhale, full extension of the body. Exhale, hinge at your hips and forward fold. Inhale to lengthen your spine. Exhale, bring your hands down, step your feet back. Bring your knees to the earth. Take an inhale. And then exhale, come all the way down to your belly. Untuck your toes. Your hands are just outside your chest. And then inhale, roll your shoulders back. Lift your chest, but press the tops of your feet down. And exhale, melt your chest back down. Inhale, roll your shoulders back. Peel your heart up a little bit higher, maybe. And then exhale to come down. Last one, inhale. Exhale down. On the inhale, press up through all fours. It's a box pose. Exhale, bring your hips towards your heels and take child's pose. Reach your arms forward. Relax your shoulders from your ears. And breathe here. You can roll your forehead side to side. Excuse me, y'all. I told y'all before, whenever Small Hands isn't here in the morning and I don't have anybody to talk to at first, it takes me a while. Kind of clear my throat. And when you're ready, inhale up into all fours. Exhale, press your palms down. Move from the space we talked about. Curl your hips up and back with intention. Moving with intuition. And then inhale, soft bend to your knees to gaze forward. Exhale, step your feet to your hands. Inhale to lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold yourself down. Now, feet could be about hip width distance apart, or you can bring them all the way together. Oh, man. On the inhale, bend your knees, sit your hips low. Find a chair pose. We're going to warm the legs just a little bit. So let your bottom drop back and down. Pull the pit of your belly up. Hands can be at heart center. You can reach your arms to the sky. Find something that works for you. And breathe. Belly in. Now root down into the four corners of your right foot. Lift your left foot. Cross it behind the right. It's going to come all the way off of your mat. And drop your toes down. But try to keep your hips facing forward. And then take little curtsy-like pulses to firm up and to feel your inner thighs fire, right? We're trying to warm up the legs and breathe. Pull your belly in. If you're really looking for a challenge today, which clearly is not me, you can lift your left feet, your toes. And then it becomes a one-leg balance. And then hold. Right hand grabs your left wrist and stretch over to the right again. Breathe. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, stand up for a moment. Bring your hands down. Roll your shoulders back. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hinge at your hips and forward fold. Chest to your thighs. Let your head go. Inhale, chair pose. Bend into your knees. Reach your arms back up. Exhale, sit it back and down. Warm up your legs. You can take baby pulses if that feels good. Now all of the weight into your left foot. Cross your right foot behind the left, right knee behind the left, and then drop your toes perhaps even off of your mat. Try to keep the hip bones facing forward and see if you can bring your shoulders over your hips. And then you have this option here to just be still. You can take these little baby pulses. You're squeezing your inner thighs towards one another. Option to lift your right toes if that's just really what you need today, right? And then you're going to find stillness. Left hand circles right wrist. Inhale, reach up and over. Stretch through your right side body. Breathe. Exhale completely. Inhale, come through center. Both knees bent. Exhale, straighten your legs. Bring your hands to heart center. Inhale, reach your arms out and up. And then exhale, hinge at your hips and forward fold. Let your chest come to your thighs. Then you can bend one knee and then the other if that feels good. Releasing out of your low back, out of the outer hip. Inhale. I'm going to take my feet about hip width distance apart. Lengthen the spine. Crown forward, tailbone back, belly up. And then exhale, bending into my knees to forward fold again. And really bring my chest to my thighs. And let my head hang. Now, if you want to bring your hands onto blocks, go ahead and grab them. And then take your feet hip width distance, maybe a little bit wider. And you could even you could go wider if you want. Bend into your knees and stick your bottom back. Take the heart forward, the crown of your head forward, but let your neck be long. Good. And then your hands can be on the ground, they can be on blocks, or you can bring, I'm going to take my feet out a little bit wider. You can bring your forearms, your elbows to your thighs and rest this way. Now from here, maybe you press a little bit into your right inner thigh and twist over to the left, dipping your right shoulder. Then you inhale, come through center, tailbone back, crown forward. Exhale, press into your left inner thigh with your left forearm, dip your left shoulder, twist slightly to the right. Inhale, tail wagging pose. Exhale, dip your right shoulder, gaze left. Inhale through center, pull your belly up. Exhale, dip your left shoulder, gaze right. Inhale to center. Exhale, bring your hands down, straighten through your legs and forward fold. You're going to keep the wide stance if you want. You could also bring your feet back together. And on the inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, heel toe the feet slightly back towards the center line. And then step your left foot to the back of your mat. Soften your left knee down. Your right knee is a 90-degree bend. So if you need to move around, go ahead and find that. And then let your hips soften down and forward. I have my hands on blocks. You can bring your hands to the ground if that feels better. I'm keeping it pretty, my intention, I guess I will say, is to go deep with the stretching, but I really don't want to hang out in my joints today. So I'm going to probably use blocks, right? To bring the ground a little bit closer. I don't have to go as low. So from here, inhale, roll your shoulders back, pull your heart forward, and then exhale, shift your hips back, straighten through your right leg, and flex your right toes back towards your shin. Long, strong spine. And then think of your navel spinning towards your right thigh bone so that you can pull your right hip back, your left hip forward. And you keep breathing into the belly of your muscle, so the belly of your right hamstring. And then if you want, you can slide your blocks kind of back for a moment so that they're not in the way. Take an inhale. On the exhale, roll your right pinky toe down. Flex your right foot towards the top of your mat, getting into your IT band. And then on your inhale, lift your toes back to the sky. And then exhale, rotate your right toes, your right big toe inward. And then try to flatten your right foot to the ground, taking the outer edge of your right foot parallel to the top of your mat. Breathing here. Notice if your right hip, your right shoulder started to pull forward like mine, and see if you can gently shift it back. When you're still breathing, it's nice, deep, and even. And then on your inhale, take your toes back up to the sky. On the exhale, rebend your right knee and walk yourself forward. Take both blocks to the inside of your right foot, and then heel toe your right foot over. Bend into your right knee. So coming into a supported lizard lunge. Roll your shoulders back. And you got to be here for a couple of breaths. See where you're at today. Feel it out. It's really easy, especially in lizard, to just start going into everything else because there are so many variations of this. But we have this tendency to go into our default. And your default patterns aren't always what you need, right? They're there for a reason, but sometimes you got to make sure that that's what you need today and not something else. So now, once you've been here for a few breaths, you can feel the feedback from your body. You know how you're showing up. You can take your right toes, spin them out to like 1 or 2 o'clock. You could flare your right knee open. I am going to slide my blocks out of the way for this particular one and come down to my forearms. And then I'm just going to kick it here for a little bit and breathe. You do have the option to take your right palm towards the inner right thigh, kind of spin it open, manually externally rotating your right femur head and the hip socket, so your thigh bone. Some of you will take your right hand to the sky, maybe your right fingertips to your right shoulder first, and then point your elbow up and get a little bit of a twist here, supported on your left forearm. You could bend your left knee and reach your right hand back. But wherever you are, you're breathing. deeply, evenly. One more inhale here. On the exhale, release your left foot down. Bring your right hand back into the front of your mat. Square off. Take an inhale right here. Turn your right toe slight diagonal. And then on the exhale, just shift back for a diagonal half split. Breathing here. Hands can be on blocks. And then walk yourself back forward. Curl up your left toes. Lift your left knee. And then on your exhale, step your left foot to the outside of your left hand. And let's come into our Malasana yogic squat. Sorry, I was saying I was offline for a moment, so I was checking everything out. Drop your bottom low. Now, again, you've got your block. So if you want to sit on a block or two today, that's your jams, do it. And then hands come to heart center. Lift your chest. Breathe it in. Feel all of this out. And eventually, at some point, your shoulders stack over your hips. If you notice that your heels are lifted, you can roll up the top of your mat so that you can place your heels on your mat and your toes to the floor. It's going to give you a little bit of support. If you feel like it's too much on the Achilles. Beautiful, y'all. Now bring your hands to the ground. Inhale, lift your hips, turn your toes forward. And then exhale, fold yourself down, let it go. Now inhale, lengthen your spine. And exhale, step your right foot back and soften your right knee down to the ground. Grabbing onto your blocks to frame your front foot. Left knee bends. Let your pelvis soften down and forward. You can take a couple of movements here if you'd like. Your left knee is a 90-degree angle. Oh, man. All right. Now inhale here. And on the exhale, shift your hips back. Straighten through your left leg. Slide your blocks back if you want. And just breathe here. Flex your toes back towards your shin and then let your left hip pull back, right hip forward. And breathe into it. All right, so from here, IT band work. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, spin your left pinky toe down towards the ground. Flex your left foot towards the top of your mat. But can you keep pulling your left hip back, right hip forward so everything else stays the same? And then on your inhale, lift your left toes back up. And then exhale, turn your left big toe internally. Spin it over towards the right. Try to take your foot flat. The outer edge of your left foot towards the top of your mat. Breathe it in, long, strong spine. All right. On the inhale, turn your left toes back up to the sky. Exhale, walk yourself forward. Bring your blocks to the inside of your left leg and heel toe your left foot over. All right. Oh, man. And then just kind of be here for a second. Feel it all out. Hands can be on your blocks to start. And then at some point, if you like it, you move your blocks away. You come down to your forearms. And then you turn your left toes out to like 10, 11 o'clock. And roll to the outer edge of your left foot. You take your left palm in towards the inner thigh and open up if you'd like. Some of you will take your left fingertips to your left shoulder. Rotate your elbow to the sky, your shoulder up, opening up and twisting. And then if you're ready for it, you can bend your right knee, reach your left hand back. The hand might catch the foot, it might not. It's all good. Breathe into it. There's no pain or tension in the knees, no matter what it is that you're doing. And then it's a soft release of your right foot down towards the mat. Left hand comes back underneath your left shoulder. Press your palms down. Inhale here. And then exhale, just releasing out of your left leg. Shift your hips back, straighten through your left leg. Flex your toes through. So you're half diagonal split. And then inhale to walk yourself back forward. Curl up your right toes. Lift your right knee. Exhale, step your right foot outside of your right hand. Heels in, toes out. Drop your bottom. Lift your chest. Hands to heart if you're going there. And breathe. All right. Hands down to the ground. Inhale to lift your hips, turn your toes forward. Exhale, forward fold. Let your chest come down, let your head hang. Inhale to lengthen your spine. Exhale, hands down, step your feet back, lower your knees to the ground, and then child's pose, hips to your heels. Reach your arms forward, or you can wrap them around down towards your feet, hands cupping the heels. If you like to roll your forehead side to side, that's available here. And then on your inhale, press up into all fours. With the exhale, just press your palms down. Let's take 2 cat-cow. On the inhale, belly down, lift your chin, lift your tail, press your heart forward. And then exhale to reverse it. Dome out your upper back. Tuck your chin, tuck your tail. Inhale to roll back through. And exhale. Now inhale into your box pose. And on the exhale, sitting back again, either onto your heels, onto your block for supported heroes. So we've been here before. You might notice that the quadriceps are a little bit more open this time. If that's the case, maybe you remove the block completely and bring your bottom down to the ground in between your heels. I'm going to stay right here today because this is what feels good to me. If you have your bottom down on the ground with no block and your knees still feel great, they're together, they're not lifting at all, you could come down onto your back, right? Reclining heroes. But if at any point you feel something funky on the knees, or they start to separate a lot, or they lift off the ground at all, then you need to come back up. You always need to unravel the layer before, if that happens, right? That means that the tendons holding onto your kneecaps are at maximum, and they're lifting your knee to allow your quadricep to stretch, and that leads to injury. So it's not worth it. All right, y'all. When you're ready, slowly come back forward. I'm going to remove my block. Now, I like to bring my hands down first, and then I roll out my ankles. And then you can tap the tops of your feet. And then I'm going to shimmy back a bit so that I can shift all the way forward and come down onto my belly. All right, so once you're here, coming into a half frog, lift your right knee up to hip height and then flex your right foot. Awesome. Then you can just be here. Your arms can reach forward. Your arms can reach out. They can reach back. So whatever feels best to you. Then I'm going to add on one more layer. Bring your right forearm down for a moment so that you can lift your chest. Thread the needle of your left arm underneath your right arm and then come back down. And then reach your right arm forward. And then take an inhale here. Slide your right hand down. On the exhale, open your right arm out so you're coming onto your back and you're in a spinal twist. So your right arm is reaching in the opposite direction from your right knee. And then we try to get both shoulder blades to go down, right? And you're still breathing. Relax your hands, relax your face. One more inhale. And exhale, bring your right arm back over to fold back down towards the mat. Coming out the same way we came in. Press your right palm down. Unthread your left arm. And let your torso, your chest come right back down to the mat. You can make a little pillow with your hands for your forehead if you'd like. Give yourself a moment. And then straighten your right leg down. Bring your right thigh back down to the earth. Tops of both feet are down. And then as you're ready, slide your left knee up. Create that 90-degree bend. Left knee, thigh, and hip are all in the same line. Flex your left foot, and then your ankle is directly underneath your knee. Half frog, left side. And then you just stay for a minute, feel it out before you start adding on. Because you might decide you just want to stay here, right? Some people sleep this way, so this might be ultra comfortable to you. And then when you've settled in and you're ready to start layering, the left forearm comes down so you can lift your chest. And you're going to thread the right arm underneath the left. Right palm faces up. And then let your forehead come back down. So you're stretching through your right upper back, getting into all that stuff. Right shoulder blade. I also feel it in my like the intercostals, like the muscles also connecting like sternum to rib cage. And you can reach your left hand forward. God. And you can slide your left hand back. And then take your left arm, open it out to the opposite side of your mat from your left knee. You might even roll off a little bit of your mat, and that's all good. So come into that spinal twist. And then we try to get both shoulder blades down. My spine is super tight, typically. And today is no, variation. So if you feel like you need to lift your left knee a bit so that the back can come down, that's okay. Your knee doesn't have to stay on the ground. So don't stress about that. You just breathe in. Know that you're breathing in. And breathe out. Know that you're breathing out. Take one more inhale. And on the exhale, we come out the same way we came in. Roll back over onto your belly first. And then you'll press your left hand down, unthread the needle. Come on to, if you want, make a little pillow with your hands. Let your forehead come down to your pillow. And rest here for a moment before you add anything on, before we start moving all the way out. And then take your left leg and extend it long behind you. Let your thigh come down to the ground and then wiggle out your hips from side to side. And then bring your hands underneath your shoulders, just outside of your chest. And peel your shoulders back. This is your inhale. Exhale, come to hips to heels, child's pose. Rest your rib cage on top of your thighs. Let your forehead come down. Relax your shoulders back and down. And then on your inhale, slowly press back up into all fours. And on the exhale, cross your feet at the ankles, sit back onto your heels, and extend your legs out in front of you. So just coming to seated, however that looks for you. And then extend your legs out in front of you. And then move the flesh around from your sits bones, so from your bottom, until you can find your sits bones. And then on your inhale, reach your arms out and up. And then on your exhale, hinge at your hips, reach your arms forward, Paschimottanasana. Relax your shoulders back and down. Pull your chest towards your ankle. Breathing here, and y'all, you can have a deep bend to your knees, right? It's all good. Take your heart forward. Relax your shoulders back and down. One more breath here. And then your hands release from your feet, roll up nice and slow. And then take a C curve to your spine so that you can roll down one vertebra at a time until you're flat on your back. And once you get there, take your inhale. And on the exhale, hug your knees in towards your chest. Wrap your arms around. And then take your breath. And then exhale to a happy baby. So you can take hands to the inner or outer arches of your feet. Flex your feet towards the sky. And lengthen your tailbone down so the low back is flat here. Take another inhale. And on the exhale, release your feet to the earth and then cross your right ankle over your left knee. Slide your right palm in towards your right inner thigh so you get a stretch through the hip. And you can stay right here in this figure four or reclined pigeon. Hug your left knee in, interlace your fingers around your left hamstring, and nuzzle your right forearm towards your right inner thigh. There's a baby flex to both feet. And then take one more inhale here. On the exhale, let your left foot come down for just a second and really cross your right leg over the left. So coming into a reclined supine Gomukhasana. Internal rotation of your thigh bones. Hands will come to either opposite knees or shins or all the way down towards the ankles, or perhaps grabbing the outer edges of your feet as you draw your thighs in. And then it's like you're trying to pull your feet away from one another. And lengthen your low back to the mat again. It's almost like handlebars, right? Keep breathing into your right outer hip. Inhale here. Exhale, happy baby. Release it all out. Let your feet come back down to the mat. Cross your left ankle over your right knee. Flex your left foot and then slide your left hand towards your inner thigh. Get all of that out. You are just fine to stay right there in your figure four stretch if that is truly enough for you. Otherwise, if you would like, take an inhale. And on the exhale, hug your right thigh in towards your chest. Interlace your fingers around your hamstring. Both feet are baby flexed. Nuzzle your left forearm into your left inner thigh. And slowly release your right foot down. Cross your left leg completely over. Spin your thighs internally. And then if you need to lift your chest, you can, for your hands to find your knees, shins, ankles, whatever. But then you let your head and shoulders come back down. And then pull your thighs in towards one another. And let your feet pull away from each other. Relax your shoulders, your collarbones are broad. You breathe. Inhale here. Exhale to a happy baby. Last one. And rock side to side. And just be still. And then inhale here. On the exhale, hug your knees in towards your chest. Hold for the inhale. And then exhale, round your forehead up to your knees. Stay for one inhale. And then on your exhale, extend your legs forward. Let your feet hang comfortably open. Arms come down by the side body. And we meet in Shavasana. Allow for the bottom side of your body to be heavy. It's grounded and rooted, but the top side is light. It's weightless. It's floating. Close down your eyes. Relax your brows and your jaw. And rest. If what you need is to be here a little bit longer, you're going to tune me out and stay right where you are. Otherwise, begin to deepen your breath, to wiggle your fingers and your toes, And on the inhale, take your arms up overhead and find your full body stretch. You can roll out your wrists and your ankles. And then as you exhale, hug your knees in towards your chest. You can roll over to the right. And eventually you'll press up into your comfortable, easy seated position, Sukhasana. We'll all meet there, but there's no rush, so take your time. And once you are there, your shoulders lift up over your hips, and the heart is high. Your hands can rest in your lap or on your knees, or you can seal them together in Anjali Mudra at heart center. So take that final moment and that pause to be grateful for our bodies, for what they do for us today, to be hopeful for tomorrow. Thank you all for being here. Namaste.